Lights out, green flag, here we go. You pay for the whole seat, but you're only gonna need the edge.
The Thunder Road Podcast, telling the stories of the South Texas racers from the past and present.
Hello, my name is James Parks, and welcome to another episode of the Thunder Road Podcast, Season 2. We're filming here at the Petronilla Posse Race Shop. I would like to take the time to thank our sponsors, Proline Fabrication, 112 Bodies, Top Hat Signs and Designs, and of course, S&S Monuments. On this episode, we will be interviewing Colt and Jeremy Stafford, local racers, local car builders. Sit back and hear the stories of a father and son team. All right. Well, we're here with Jeremy Stafford, local custom car builder, hot rod builder, whatever you may be today, but you're building a little bit of everything out there. Also, we got local go-kart extraordinaire, Colt Stafford, with us here. Guys, tell me a little bit about yourselves. Just tell me about your day-to-day. What do you guys do?
I race go-karts, play sports, and that's pretty much
How old are you?
9 and...
9 going on 19?
No.
No, not yet. No, Dad, no, not yet. He's pretty tame.
Pretty close.
All right. And sports, what kind of sports you do?
Soccer and racing.
No chasing girls yet, right?
No.
Don't do that. Just stay away from the girls for a little while. Okay? Deal?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jeremy, tell me about yourself.
Well, like you said, we kind of mess with hot rods, rat rods, got friends. We just get together and build stuff that you don't normally see. And,
Right, but this isn't just stuff. Like, you're driving this stuff down the highway. Like, you stand behind what you build.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, everything we build, we drive it every day. I finished my wife's truck. She drives that thing.
Let me see your wife's truck. We don't know what your wife's truck is, so tell us what this is.
She's got a 62 four-door Dodge short bed, and we cut the frame of a 2000 Chevrolet 3/4-ton four-wheel drive, cut it, fit the Dodge cab and bed on it, took it up to San Antonio to Planet Truck. They put a lift kit on it and everything on it is a 2000 Chevrolet, except for the cab and the bed, the motor, everything.
Yeah.
So all electronics, everything is.
She drives it. That's her daily.
If she wanted to, she'd drive it daily. If it was up to her, she would drive it daily.
What
yes.
about some of your other custom builds? Some of your own? Is it customers' builds? Your builds? Are they up for sale, or how does that stuff work?
No, I haven't had to sell anything yet. I don't want to sell anything yet.
Right.
But
so it's your own private collection.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite build?
It's probably the cab over. I'm working on a couple other ones, but I got a 47 cab over. Actually, I've seen Rick Scrupa's cab over, and I've always wanted a cab over, and it just pushed me to go ahead and.
Where are you finding these pieces and parts at? You're not finding them around here.
No, the cab over I kind of jumped the gun and bought it off the internet, and
The old interweb.
Yeah, it came from North Dakota, and when I got it home, it was pretty much rust, so I knocked it down to where it was next to nothing, and between all the guys, myself, we rebuilt it, and I drive it, and I haul a 32 little Ford pickup on the back of it.
That you built?
No, actually, Rick Scrupa built that one.
Okay.
That was the first hot rod I ever had, or rat rod, hot rod, whatever you want to call it.
I have an empty stall over there, so if you happen to have one to come up for sale, I have a home for one.
Well, that's not a problem, but I used to ride bikes, and I was wanting to get another bike where my wife could ride with me, and a buddy of mine, Derek Randall, told me that Rick had this truck for sale, and I went over there and drove it, and it's a lot better with her sitting beside me than behind me, and it's a little safer, not much, but a little bit safer, and went that route. And ever since then, I've had fun with it.
How long you been doing the rat rod thing, hot rod thing, roughly?
Probably 10, 15 years.
So before that, before the hot rods and that stuff, what were we doing?
I started racing go-karts when I was 4, and then we got into the San Antonio Sunbelt region, the late models, and then the TIDA or Romco cars.
Let's talk about the go-kart stuff. Let's talk about how did Jeremy become a go-kart racer? Did you just wake up one morning, there was a go-kart in the driveway? Did you kick your dad out of a go-kart? Like, how did the go-kart stuff come along?
Well, there was a track at Bill Witt Park. It was a road course, asphalt track. And my dad took me out there just to watch and asked me if I wanted to try it. And we said yes, sir, and came home. And it was within a couple of weeks, he had a yard cart. And we went up to...
So tell us what a yard cart was. What year do you think this was, roughly?
Well, hell, I'm 45, and I was 4 years old. So
are we talking like a yard cart from Tractor Supply as we know it? Or are we talking like...
Yeah, it was just... But the yard carts nowadays are different than what they were back then.
Describe this cart that you started off
It was just like a little rail with four wheels
springs and shocks on it?
Oh, no.
Just solid.
It was solid.
All right, fair enough.
And so we went to Chella's to the parking lot, Westwood Shopping Center, and my dad set up some cones, made some laps, and, well, I got a little carried away, and the first thing I hit was the back end of a pickup.
Hopefully it was y'all's.
No, it was somebody else's, but luckily I hit the wheel and tire, and it wasn't too bad. It wasn't going that fast. And these didn't have roll cages or anything like that, so it wasn't too bad. And the guy was pretty cool about it and stuff. But that was the first time I ever drove a go-kart.
Did you give him an autograph? Said that someone will be a legend in a few years?
No, I didn't do any of that.
So you ran this yard cart around the Chella's parking lot, which Chella's isn't there anymore, but the parking lot is. I was just in it the other day. So you did this go-kart. So you just ran here at Bill Witt Park. Did y'all travel around doing the karting? What exactly did y'all do? Yes, sir.
So we ran the yard cart.
Did you ever run at Odom International?
No, my brother did, but I didn't.
All right.
We finally, after a year of the yard cart, my dad got me actually an Emic racing cart, but IKF and WK, they wouldn't let me. I wasn't old enough to run it, so I would stay local and we'd do that. Once we were able to get into where we can run it, we traveled all over. That was probably some of my fondest memories, is me and the old man getting in the truck and going up to Lubbock, Dallas, Odessa, everywhere. We traveled everywhere.
You were road racing,
yes,
asphalt,
sir.
dirt,
yes. No,
everything?
It was just road racing.
Just road
asphalt.
racing. Okay.
I ran one time on the dirt in Alvin. I believe it was Alvin.
There was 2 tracks in Alvin. Apparently one of them did run go-karts years ago regularly.
I believe it was Alvin, or was it Wharton?
There's Triple C in Alvin, and then there was Gulf Coast, but Wharton may have had a track too. I don't actually know.
I can't remember. It's that long ago.
That's cool. So tell us a little bit about those adventures with your dad, because your dad raced at some point. So I assume you watched your dad turn some laps somewhere. So you probably had some memories of your dad racing, I would just suspect.
He raced at CC Speedway, and I've got pictures and stuff, but I don't ever remember seeing him race. The first person I remember and made an impression as far as racing was Big Stevie. Whitaker? Stevie Whitaker, yeah. I remember he had a brown Camaro, 88, and I remember we'd always be out there with him. Yeah. I'd be in the back, like not just me, several kids or whatever in the back window and we'd go around. I remember that.
Good times.
Yes, sir.
So y'all traveled racing this go-kart. You did road racing.
Yes, sir.
And you all over Texas.
Yes, sir.
You remember maybe some of the bigger events or special events that you were a part of in doing any of that?
Well, we had what we did, like Corpus would host a big race, a big IKF race, and it was every couple of weeks. It was we go somewhere different, whether it be here, Victoria, Dallas, Odessa.
You have a big trailer behind you? You just have a back of a pickup truck?
No, well, at first we did have a pickup, and then my dad actually built our very first covered trailer.
Really?
And
is it still around?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
He used to keep a lot of things hanging in the shop there. So
yes.
We had a race car, we had a go-kart. There might have been a trailer hanging. I just didn't see it.
I have a utility trailer. I think it was the second utility trailer that Superior Trailers built at my house. So.
Awesome. So you chased the kart scene for a little while, and then what happened? You decided one day you wanted to do something different, or?
Well, so once I was 13, the karts were fun, but they got boring. They wouldn't let us move up. Times were different back then. Now kids these days can run late models, but back then they wouldn't let us move up. I had to be 16 before I could move up into shifter karts, and it got boring.
Yeah.
So we kind of laid low and got out of that. And when I was 15, we went up to San Antonio to to watch the races, and Rick Rapp and several of them, which I didn't know at the time, but Joey Heineman was running, and we were walking through the pits one day or that evening, and Rick Rapp hollered at my old man and said, "When are you going to get that boy a car and get him out here?" And man, it wasn't long after that. He ended up buying a car.
So the rapper set the hook.
Yeah, yes, sir. So he got the car and everything, got it going, and I didn't know anything about it. We went out there and we couldn't scatter nothing.
Now, when you say a late model, tell us a little bit about what those cars were at the time you were driving these cars.
It was the Sunbelt region.
But what was the
Cars.
car basically? Was it a fabricated frame?
With the front, like I believe it was Camaro front flip.
Front snub?
Yes, sir.
Coilover shocks or something?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And big tires, 10-inch tires, 12 tires?
Yes, sir. The regular racing, the big slips.
I'm just trying to let everybody know kind of what kind of car these actually were. So these weren't quite NASCARs.
No, sir.
But they weren't like full-blown.
like the TIDA.
Yeah.
And like, no, they weren't like that. They were one below it.
Okay.
And
It was TIDA light to an extent.
yes, sir.
Okay, fair enough.
So I was 15, and they wouldn't let me race. So we got Mike Denman. He would actually race it, and I would practice.
Yeah.
So then I finally got old enough to where I could race it, and I
Did
still.
you gain a year, like in age, in like 6 months? We just changed the year, changed the age, or did you actually wait a full year?
Oh no, it wasn't a full year. It was probably 6 months. I'm guessing.
I don't know if like overnight you became 16.
No.
Okay.
It was a while, but once I started, it was a big learning curve from the go-karts road course to this.
And your first laps in that car were at San Antonio?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And like I said, I couldn't scatter hell in a handbasket. And actually, Jim Davis, a good friend of my dad's, introduced us to Joey Heineman.
The legend.
The legend. And we all went to San Antonio on a Friday. They had practice on Friday. And he actually walked me around the track, told me what the apex was, my points, and all that. And it helped me out tremendously. And I loved running that car at that track.
Yeah.
We didn't make a full season. I don't think we have ever made it like a total full season. We took that car up to Odessa to run a TIDA race.
Yeah.
And that was the first TIDA race I ever ran. I think it was 100 laps, something like that, compared to our San Antonio 25, 50 laps, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we finished 6th with that car in Odessa. I remember once I finished past the finish line, I looped it around. I just sat in the outfield, and my old man come across the radio. Goes, "Man, you all right?" I said, "Yeah, but I'm just worn plumb ass out." I said, "I just need to sit here for a few minutes." So
Take this all in.
yeah, it was fun. It was good. That was a lot of fun.
That's cool. So other than San Antonio and the Odessa track, did you ever run any at the Speedway with it, or the CC Speedway?
Well, yes, we set that one up. Actually, it was Joey and Eddie and PA and all of that crew. And Rick Rapp told Joey where he wanted this car to be set up. All the numbers, bump, steer, camber, everything. And I can still remember we could not get, I believe it was the bump at the degree that Rick wanted.
Yeah.
And Joey called him, and Rick Rapp was like, "I want that number. That's what it is." So we ended up, I believe we notched the frame a little bit and made it right and did some fabrication, and we got all the numbers. He was happy. So the next night we qualified. We qualified good, top 10, easy. And right off the bat, I noticed going down the straightaway, it started popping. So I pulled off, and they threw the yellow, ran into the pits. Everybody's around the car. They can't find nothing. I believe it was Joey that put his hand on the distributor cap, and
it was loose.
It was loose. So he put that back on, and we're a couple laps down. And we start dead last, and man, this car, you could put it anywhere. Like, I mean, it was on rails. Inside, outside, high side, low side, it didn't matter. Wherever you wanted it, this was probably the funnest race that I ever got to drive. And I remember, I can't remember who was leading it. I think it was John Kelly was leading it. And then Tommy Grimes and Greg Davison for fighting for second. And I remember passing both of them on the high side going into one. I know we were laps down, but still, just to be able to just blow
Just
by them on the high side.
That opportunity.
Yeah, it was neat. And pulling in, I told Joey and my dad, I said, there's nothing driving that car. I could put it anywhere and do anything. So
no, the rapper Rick Rapp's name has come up in this podcast quite a few times, and he is a legend in the area. I joke with Joey about being a legend, but Rick Rapp knew his stuff, and if the rapper said something, I never had the opportunity to meet him myself, but from everybody that I've talked to, the same scenario. If rapper gave you a number, that's the number it was, and I don't want to speak for him, but it sounds like he was pretty particular about what he wanted, but he knew what he wanted, and it was the best for the drivers and for the cars. So Joey as well. I met Joey when I first came to Corpus. Him and Gene Hyde, they kind of raised me. Along with Eddie kind of raised me a little bit too. But those guys knew what they were doing, way ahead of their time in some instances. Running that TIDA series, like what was that like doing that with your dad? Running around. Did y'all travel much with that deal?
yes, sir. We went to several. We went to Wichita Falls, Altus, Oklahoma, Odessa, CC. I can't remember what other ones, but we traveled around. Like I said, we were never able to make a full season off of that, and those cars they'd come up out of date in no time. We ran the V8, and then we ended up getting the V6s. I enjoyed running the V6s more than the V8 because for me it was like driving a go-kart with the V6s.
Yeah.
But then they outlawed the V6s, so we had to run the V8s. Which
what made it feel more like a go-kart in what aspect?
I guess you just kept it wrapped up more, the RPMs.
Stayed on the pipe, as they say.
Yeah, it was just funner that way. In Houston, when they paved over Big H Speedway, we were running up there one night and in the V6. And that car was real bad about burning up I believe it was the number 5 plug wire. And we ended up burning it up, and it just fell on its face. But I could damn near keep it flat-footed around the track, and we ended up second in it. So that's been a lot of fun.
Any adventures with the old man on the road? Any craziness?
No, he would, especially in the go-karts. We wouldn't be over the river bridge. We'd be going up to Lubbock Friday after work to race Saturday.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't even hit the river bridge, and I'd be passed out. I'd sleep all the way. And the same way coming home, I was never awake.
You were no help.
That was no help. Finally,
did he tell you were no help?
Oh yeah, he'd get so mad. But it finally got to where I was old enough, 12, 13 years old. He's like, all right, you're driving. So I started driving and stuff. I'd stay awake, and then when we raced big cars and stuff, I'd drive and I'd help him out a little bit.
Did he ever get the itch once you were back in big cars or anything? Did he ever get the itch to want to go turn some laps or do something?
He never said it, but you could tell. You could tell that somebody wanted to do it. Matter of fact, I think it was go-karts. We were doing something when my brother was running and stuff. It was when they had the go-karts underneath the Harbor Bridge, I believe.
At that little Grand Prix track deal, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a HEB parking lot.
Yeah.
And it was a mechanics race or something, and I had my cart out there. I said, here, get in it. And I think he raced it and he had fun. But
he would never admit it, though, probably.
No.
That happens. All right, so we did some TIDA races. We traveled around. We did some of that stuff. And then where did you go from there?
From there, when I was, my wife and I got married in 2003. And it was before that was the Corpus race. And she went to that one. That was my last race. And the right rear bleeder broke. And I was pouring brake fluid every time. Coming out of turn 4, I'd nudge that wall every time.
No better place.
No better place. And it finally got to where I couldn't do it anymore and had to bring it in. But that was my last race.
And where's that car at now?
Right now, it's sitting at my house in my shop, and I fire it up probably every 2 weeks just to keep everything going and stuff. And I actually have I believe it's a 62 63 or 64 Falcon. I'm going to cut up and put the body on it, and I'm going to make it a street rod.
Is that going to be Colt's first car there?
No.
No?
No, sir.
Not doing that?
It's going to be a Mustang.
But if I had to do it all over again to have one race to go back to, it'd be College Station.
All right. Why is that?
It was when we went and picked up Slick Yeoman's car, got it ready. Didn't get fitted for it. We had pillows and stuff in the
Hold on,
seat.
back up. You just skimmed over. We went and just picked up Slick Yeoman's car. That doesn't just happen.
Well, Alan Yates and my dad are pretty good buddies.
All right.
So that's who I got both my TIDA cars from.
Okay.
Was Slick or Alan Yates. And so the first one we went and picked up, it up at Alan's yard in Sinton. Brought it home, and they had the big race at College Station. We threw everything together.
Texas World Speedway.
Yes, sir.
The big track.
The big track.
Yep.
If we didn't do the 2 mile, we did the 1.5, where you dived in and downshifted and had the back straightaway.
Yes.
So we did that. We didn't fit the seat, didn't do nothing, just put pillows in it. And
Just strap in a little tighter.
strap in a little tighter. And man, I've never shifted cars or anything going in. I couldn't. The first time racing, this was nothing. This was like total scattered. I didn't know nothing. But the funny thing is, so on the back straightaway, they have a 3-2-1. It's 300 yards, 200 yards to the turn. And that big of a track, it does not seem like you're going that fast. Man, I hit that number 3, and I never saw the 2 or the 1, and I was looped out in the outfield. Thank God there was no wall.
You learned your lesson, though.
I learned my
Pay
lesson.
attention.
Yes. But still, shifting gears, I couldn't figure out. Finally, I went over to Slick. I said, Slick, I can't figure it out. I said, I don't know what I'm doing. And he asked me what I was doing, and I told him. He goes, boy, that's wrong. I said, yes, sir. So he said, when you hit that number 3 sign, jam it up into third, let the car settle down, and go on around. I said, but it's going to peg out. He said, it'll be all right. Don't worry about it. And sure enough, the next time I went out and hit that 3 sign, downshifted, let the car settle down, went on around, came out, upshifted, did good. Out of 50, I believe there was 54 cars there. We qualified 9th, and Slick was right in front of me.
Cool deal.
So it was a lot of fun. Didn't know anything about this car. I was used to the San Antonio car. So this car had lockers. Didn't know nothing about it. And we were warming up. And I popped the gas.
Oof.
And I go straight into the wall. And I mean straight. I shortened the car 2 foot. On the pace lap. Bring it in, and you can see where it bent the frame. And we were done. That was it. If I had one race to do over, it'd be that one.
That'd be that one. Well,
Yeah.
Lessons learned. The hard way.
Hard way.
But lessons learned. All right, so you and your wife got married. Race cars went to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Hot rods came in right away.
No, it was a little ways. I had bikes and stuff, and Sam Wilcox has his son, Bart, and he had pretty much the same problem we had, that he wasn't old enough to drive. So I drove his car out at CC Speedway for a little while I think it was, I guess, a year.
Is that the white and black Camaro?
Yes, sir.
With the red frame, I think it was.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
And
That was kind of an iconic car in Corpus. Like Sam is a great craftsman, but I remember that car.
it was fun when he had it set up. There was times where he had that sucker set up, and it was just as fun as running that big car on that track. So it was a lot of fun. I did that for about a year and stuff. And other than that, it was bikes. And I sold my bikes and started building hot rods and just messing around.
So yeah, hot rods. Then all of a sudden we got a family now.
Yeah, it was a while. We had him. I was 35, I guess. And I'd already settled down a little bit. So with him, I settled down quite a bit. But when he was 5, I took him out here to Lawrence's and pretty much same thing, see if he wanted to try it. And he rodeoed for a year before that.
Whoa. What did we rodeo? What were we doing? Barrel racing? Riding bulls?
You remember?
I think I might remember. I think I might have did mutton busting and was it
Poles and barrels.
Yeah.
So tell us what is poles and barrels. I think we all know what the mutton busting is. You're jumping on a sheep or a goat or something, right?
Yes,
But what's
sir.
poles and barrels? What's that?
Have to go in between the poles and barrels on a horse.
Oh yeah. Did you have your own horse?
Yes, sir.
Cool deal. You helped take care of the horse and maintain and everything?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. You did something right there.
Yes, sir. So he did that for a year, and we'd tell him you need to go out and practice and stuff, and he just wasn't into it as much as you'd.
As you wanted.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
So
Maybe burned out a little bit? Wasn't as exciting as he was wanting?
Probably so. It wasn't as fast, I'm sure.
Yes.
But he was young enough to where we had to do it was called lead lining. So he was doing that, but mom and dad were running with the halter.
I got you.
So
it was a workout for the family.
Yeah, it's a workout for the family.
Let me show you something. Here's a go-kart.
Yeah.
Rope.
So we went over here to Lawrence's. I asked him, you interested in this and that? And he said, yes, sir. So we actually went and bought, it's an antique. It's a big old dinosaur.
It was fast.
It was fast. It did good. It served its purpose.
You never gave up on it.
No, sir, didn't. And I didn't know anything. I've never raced on dirt.
Yeah.
I raced that one time on dirt back when I was his age.
I think he made a Stars appearance or two. Did he make a little Stars appearance?
Oh yeah, but
We'll talk about that too.
this was when we were starting out.
Skip over that?
Yeah, we were starting out. So we go get this antique, and I wasn't gonna go spend an ungodly amount of money and him not like it. So
You just tell me what color. I got them at the other shop. You tell me what color you want. No, I remember y'all brought this card out there, but you had a good time.
yes, we had a blast, and he started at L87, and it took him a couple of races, and I mean he was doing good, and he loved it, and he enjoys it. I tell him as long as his grades are up, he minds, has his manners, he's got it. First time he gets in trouble and stuff, and he's been doing good.
It's the same in my house. You gotta behave and maintain to be able to drive that go-kart. And I wondered to myself, like, do the other parents do that? I don't necessarily know, but in our house, it's the same way.
Well, it's the same way in our house, and he'll tell you. But I tell him no rough driving. He's been pulled off the track for rough driving. And it was just an accident, but still.
Track pulled him off, or Dad said,
No,
we're
Dad pulled
gonna
him.
have a talk?
No, sir, Dad pulled him off.
All right.
I don't put up with him intentionally going down the front straightaway and his tires are turned into some kid trying to push him on the infield. So
No, Lawrence has always said he wanted those go-karts to be able to teach those kids how to drive.
Yes, sir.
And that's why he built that track in his backyard. At least that's what he told me.
Well, I commend him for doing it. I love L87 track.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. But I want to teach him right from wrong.
Right.
And when cheating, I don't believe in cheating. The only person you're cheating is the kid. And he's done good. Don't get me wrong. If they're running in and they're running hard going into the corners and stuff and they bump, that's a different story.
Rubbin's racing.
I enjoy watching him run with Trip Whitmire. Them two, they can get after it and they can bump each other, and it doesn't bother us. I can't speak for Tanner, but from what I've talked to him, they run hard.
I think you'll know when Tanner's mad. He'll throw his flip-flop at you. But as long as he keeps his shoes on, I think you're good.
Well, good. I haven't had that yet.
I think you're good. So you had the old cart. I remember the old cart. I remember y'all just constantly working on it, getting around the track, and y'all ended up running really, really well with it. But then you kind of transitioned to something different.
Like I said, I've never run on the dirt with that old, especially even with that old cart. I had no idea, so I called Joey. I said, Joey, I don't know what I'm doing. So he schooled me. He got us going, but then it got to where Joey was like, hey, I'm going to give you Tanner Whitmire's phone number. Call him and talk to him. And man, I didn't know. Tanner and my brother raced like when they were younger.
Yeah.
I didn't really know Tanner that well. So I was like, man, this guy, I don't want him get up, what's this guy want, So
Right.
I call him, and he's the coolest guy, helps me, talks to me, and helped me once he got his QRC or the new cart.
The one he has now?
The one he has now is like,
Minicon?
yes,
Yep.
it's just like trips. So I would go over there and talk to him, what do I need to do? And he would explain everything, and it got to where he could drive it better and better. So I got to thank Joey and Tanner for helping me.
It's a small world. The racing world is a small world. So it's kind of cool for you to be able to sit back and say that Joey helped you when you were coming through, and obviously has helped Colt here as he was coming up. So that's pretty neat.
Yes, sir.
So where are we at now? We've won dozen or so feature wins, couple championships.
Yes, sir.
I assume at the Stars event you had to rack something up out there, and I would assume at L87 you've done some, and at the race ranch you probably got some feature wins. So tell us a little bit about your kart racing, and tell us first. I want to hear some stories from Colt about racing with Dad. I want to know, how does that work out? How do you enjoy that? I hope you do. That would be the right answer. But tell us a little bit about that deal.
Well, racing with him was really fun. We would go out on practice laps on the Star Series.
Yeah.
We'd be side by side battling for the lead all the time.
Did you let him win?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, he's a little older. It takes us a little longer to figure out we got to turn. You kids are really quick.
Yes, sir.
That happens. I once had a 6-year-old spin me out at the Stars event, so I'm well aware of the kids out there. L87, tell us a little bit about your karting at L87.
Well, it's a good track, and I haven't been to that track in at least 3 years, so...
It hadn't been that long.
It's been a while?
Yeah, it's been a while, but it hadn't been that long. That's where you first started.
Yeah.
You turned your first laps there?
Yes, sir.
I think that's where most of the kids in the area have turned their very first laps. I know that's where Pistol turned her first laps, and some other karters I've had on here, they've all started at L87. And then obviously we know it is South Texas Speedway, but it's the race ranch now. So any excitement at the race ranch with your karting stuff?
I can't remember the first time I won at race ranch, but it was when I first got out on the track. It was a little bumpy on the corner, but other than that, it was smooth.
Yeah, you got it figured out.
Yes, sir.
Who's your biggest competition when you roll
Trip.
When you roll on the racetrack? Trip's the man to beat, huh?
Yes, sir.
You think Tripp says that you're his biggest competition? Maybe.
Probably Woody is.
Oh, Woody. All right, Woody can put up a good fight too. That's cool.
I think all the kids out there are very
And it's
good.
pretty neat to watch them all transition. You know, Pistol started very
Look where
very
she's
slow,
at.
very slow, and she's moved up. And I wonder, like, man, now she's gonna maybe have to race some junior races. So I'm like, man, who's she gonna race with? And I'm thinking, well, I guess all the kids that she's been racing with, they all just kind of transition up. So no, it's a wild deal. It's really neat to watch the kids grow.
Progress, yes.
Yeah, new kids coming in, and some of those kids just get burned out and they go off and do something else. So, and that's just part of the transition. So, what are y'all doing now? What are y'all tinkering with now? Obviously, we have the Stars event coming up. We're going to do some karting out there, a full month of karting for the most part. At least in our house, it's a full month. When our feet hit the ground, something is going racing. So, tell us a little bit about y'all getting prepped and getting ready for the Stars event.
Well, yesterday we had to move all the tires to the arena. It took us 3 hours.
I can't remember. The Pattersons and us, we always go get all the tires from Race Ranch and drag them over. Yes.
Well, we appreciate your help with that for sure.
We love doing it, but that's like, okay, we're fixing
It's
it.
our time.
It's fixing to get going.
Did you walk out there, check out the track surface, see if we're good? We got more oats in it this time. We got more. What do we got in there this time? More
The track's bigger because they took the bull stuff out. But the corners, they're the same size. So once you finally get up to speed, you almost have to hit the brakes to at least make the corner.
Wait a minute. Those go-karts have brake pedals?
Yes.
Oof, we need to let some folks know about that.
I make his just far enough to where he can barely hit it.
So what classes are we going to run in this Stars event? Do we know yet? All of them?
Probably just seniors.
Seniors?
Yeah, we tried the clone and the seniors last year, and it's just too much. Just trying to swap motors, wheels, tires, and It was a lot.
I have a hard enough time just changing restrictor plates.
Yeah.
So I'm a big guy. So running from the lineup to the tech to the trailer and then do the whole thing, I'm 18 cigarettes in and I'm done.
Especially now that the last year they put the exit on the total opposite side, so it's really
if
bad.
If you watched Race on Texas, a fat guy running, that was me. That was me. Okay, so Stars event. Now you have a little something special going on with your dad, though. What are you guys doing with this Texas Mile deal?
Oh, that's so my dad's helped me from when I was 4 all the way up till we got out of it.
Yeah.
And he's always wanted to do the Texas Mile. And I told him, I said, Dad, you're retired. And I said, go get your car and let's go do it. And hell, it was a couple weeks later, he called me and said, hey, you want to make a road trip to go get a car? I got a car for the Texas Mile. And I said, that's fine. I said, what date? So I make sure I don't got nothing going. And he came and picked me up. I said, well, where are we going? He said, I think it was by Dawsonville, Georgia. We went and picked up a Bill Elliott
Did you
car.
fall asleep at the bridge?
No, I didn't fall asleep. I grew it up a little bit. I didn't fall asleep too much. I did a couple of times, but
it was like old times, though.
Yeah, it was. It was good. And that's the thing is the memories you have, I'm sure, of you and Pistol and stuff. And the memories you can't beat. Even this memory, driving all the way up there, I was so pissed about driving that far up there. But we got up there, met the guy we got the car from, and this guy has just an astonishing shop. He's got 3, I think, airplane hangars, and he takes care of guys' cars and sells them and parts and motors and stuff.
When we say cars, these are NASCARs?
Yes.
These are Busch cars?
No, they're NASCAR. They call them, I forget what I'm brain fart. I forgot what they call them, but they sell out-of-date cars and they will go race them. And he's got customers that will make the races. They bang them up, whatever. They bring them back to the shop, fix them. And that's what he does. That's his job. And man, did
you fill out an application while you were there?
Shoot, I would love to, but I was like, no, I got to stay at home. So, so he got the car. He had them set it up for what his application was.
No.
And the first time we went out, it still had the spoiler on it, everything. Like we didn't change nothing. And
does it still have like the whole NASCAR theme on the side?
Oh yeah,
remember the whole deal?
Yeah, that's a funny story. So. It was the 21. It was a Wood Brothers car.
All right.
He ran it and everything, and it was hot. And at the end of and Joey Heineman was up there. At the end of the deal, me and Joey and the old man, we were standing there, and I said, man, you need to peel this stuff off. And Joey was picking at something, and I pulled it. And me and Joey ended up peeling the whole thing, the whole wrap off the car. And it was I believe it's all red and black now. Looks so much better than looks like a NASCAR going down the track. But so that was the first time. Second time we made some adjustments, took the spoiler off.
Now this is their engine or this is y'all's engine?
No, this is straight from him. It came off a super speedway car, and it is.
Okay.
And so the second time we took it out, he was a lot more comfortable. And we were hitting 198, 199, 196. He'd mess up every now and then, wouldn't turn good. So at the end of the day, or the end of the whole time we were there, we finally got a tailwind. I said, if you're going to hit 200, you're going to do it.
200 was his goal for the day.
Yes. So he took off, and I taped every seam, every nook, cranny, and he took off, and he ended up hitting 200.9, I believe, miles an hour. I said, that's the hardest I haven't worked that hard on getting that out of that car than the whole time we race cars. So, and he was tickled to death, and
he's ready to go back.
He loves it.
What's the new goal now?
Well, we put a shot of nitrous on it, so we'll see what he can.
Have you played with nitrous before?
No. This is it.
All right.
He wants to get it. He wants to get it where he can hit 200 every time with no problem.
He wants a consistency.
But
he has to have a mile per hour in his head because that's what all those Texas Mile guys have.
I'm sure he does.
They all have a mile an hour in their head that they have to hit so they can brag to their buddies.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he does. He hasn't told me yet.
You'll find out.
Which he didn't tell me about the 200 until we got going.
So is the Texas Mile the only event that he's gonna primarily be involved with in that, or he's got some other stuff going on?
They have a half mile in Hondo, and then they have a half mile also in Beeville where the Texas Mile is, and he'd like to do the half mile as well as the mile.
Have you ever taken any of your hot rods out there and do any of that stuff? No,
I can't run it though. The fastest I ever gone was that little truck that I got from Rick. And all of us went up to Lone Star one year, and they had the I-30 bypass, and we were all trying to keep up with each other. I got up to about 130. I said, that's about fast enough.
You're done with that.
I'm done.
Well, cool deal. Colt, you're the current racer. I'm sure you got a handful of sponsors. You want to give them a little shout out, as you youngsters say, and thank your sponsors, and tell us where does Colt want to go from here?
Well, since I'm working on getting new sponsors for the season, I'm planning to go to Cam Cartway, and what was the other one?
I'm not sure.
It was something Speedway.
There's a couple of youngsters, local youngsters, that have gone to Cam. The Jacksons have gone, the Villarreals have gone, obviously the Whitmires. So I think that's kind of in the local area, a lot of the youngsters see that track as kind of a place to go compete and see where they rank. It's a pretty stout field up there.
Yes, sir.
We in my camp are not ready for that, but we will be soon.
We're probably not ready either, but we'll figure we'd try it.
I understand. So we picked up a new sponsor. Did I see that on the old internet this week? Brandon Welding?
Yes,
is that
sir.
what it is? Brandon Welding and something or other.
And, well, my first sponsor was AOC Auto Parts, then Fleet Trucks and Vans. Then I think it was Rustic AJ Enterprises. Then Van Blarkham Services. And now Brandon Welding and what was it again? Fabrication.
Awesome. Don't forget mom and dad. Always got to say mom and dad.
We try.
And where do you want to go from here when you hang up that go-kart? When you hang up that go-kart steering wheel, where are we going?
We're working on getting into micro midgets. At least that's what my dad said a few months ago.
Hold his feet to the fire. Yeah.
If that's the next step. If that's where we're going, we'll go that way. If not, we'll figure it out. Like I said,
if you're truly interested in that welterweight stuff, the mini sprint stuff and motorcycle powered stuff, take a weekend, go to Alvin, watch the show there. You'll see the different classes. You'll get a better understanding of where that stuff is going to lead and what's out there because that is a huge market, that welterweight stuff. So with that being said, guys, man, I appreciate you coming out here to the Petronilla Race Shop. We had a little detour getting here, but we were able to coach you in here. So I appreciate y'all's time.
We appreciate you having us. This is fun.
Cool
this is
deal.
Awesome.
And you were so nervous.
Yeah.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
No, it wasn't bad.
You didn't fall asleep on me.
I didn't fall asleep, but I don't have that much of an exciting racing career.
Oh, you have plenty of stories there. You just got to get them out there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, sir.
As the checkered flag flies in this episode, I would like to thank Jeremy and Colt Stafford for coming on the show. I would also like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Proline Fabrication, 112 Bodies, Top Hat Signs and Designs, and of course, S&S Monuments.